So after people get involved in abusive relationships, why do they remain in those relationships? Why? Why do people remain with people that's whooping them for breakfast, lunch, and supper? Giving them hickeys upside the head, and why do they put up with that? Well, one reason people remain in abusive relationship is because of love. They love it. They love being cussed out. They love getting beat and whooped. They love it. Some people say, no, they don't love it. Yes, they do. That was an incident happened one time, some years ago. One of my aunts was, her husband jumped on her and was beating her. And while her husband was beating her, my mother was there and her sisters. So they came to my aunt's rescue and began to attack her husband. And then my aunt told him, say, wait a minute, hold on now, don't hit him, don't fight him. And my mother said, why, this man beating you like this? She said, yeah, but you know, a man don't love you unless he beats you sometime. So that's one reason that people remain in abusive relationships. They love it. Another reason that some people remain in abusive relationships is because of low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. They believe that they can't get anyone else who will love them better than the person who is abusing them. And then the third reason that they remain in abusive relationships is because they don't want to feel a sense of loss. They believe that if they leave this person that's abusing them, then somebody else gonna get them. So to prevent that from happening, they hold on to them. I don't want nobody else to have them. But what should a person do if they're involved in an abusive situation? What should you do? Well, I want to let you know that if you're in an abusive relationship and that person is not willing to change, then you should separate from them. Yeah, you should leave them before they injure and kill you, or before you're pushed to the point where you injure or kill them. Mm-hmm. Turn to the book of Proverbs at the 21st chapter and the 9th verse. And also the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter and the 19th verse. Now in the book of Proverbs at the 21st chapter and the 9th verse, it says, it is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Yeah. That's what Solomon said, the wisest man that was on earth at that time. He says it's better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. A brawling woman is a violent woman. Yeah, Lord. So he's saying to the man, it's better for you to separate from this woman. If this woman is violent, if she has the tendencies to want to injure you, you're better off separating from that woman. It's better for you to dwell in the corner of the housetop than to dwell with that woman. Why? Because somebody gonna get hurt. Yeah, Lord. You know she has the potential of hurting you because she's a brawler, she's a fighter. But there's a possibility you may be pushed to hurt her. We know about what happened in the news. You seen this guy that got arrested for choking his wife to death and cutting her up? He was in an abusive situation he should have got out of. Now, if that man had got out of that, he wouldn't have did it. He was with this woman that was abusing him and constantly abusing him, and she was she was belittling him. She would take trips out of town and be gone for a while and then come back, wouldn't give any accountability of where she's been. Then she would tell him, say, I'm going to take the children away. You ain't going to do nothing. I'm going to do such and such a thing, and your business is going to be ruined. And when I do this, I'm going to bring you down. She kept on verbally abusing the man. Until finally the man just reached a breaking point. He told her, he said, shut up. And she wouldn't shut up. And she kept on telling him about what she was going to do to him, how she going to bring him down. He told her to shut up. And she kept on talking until finally this man grabbed her and grabbed her. Until finally she stopped talking. And when he came to himself, she was dead. That would have been avoided if he had got out of this situation. And then after he did it, see, the man had a nervous breakdown because when he was arrested, if you seen how his eyes was looking, the man, he was looking spaced out. See, being in an abusive relationship will make you go crazy. It can affect your mind. This man, he lost his mind after what he did. Not only did he choke the woman to death, but he cut her body up. He left a part of it in the park. He took her torso and left it in the garage. You have to be crazy to do something like that. Mm-hmm. And then told the police he didn't know where she was. Yeah. But they found out what he did, and he went to jail. Yeah, Lord. Proverbs 21 and 29, Proverbs the 21st chapter and the 19th verse says, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contemptuous and angry woman. If you with somebody, 19th verse says, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contemptuous and an angry woman. In other words, you better being out there in the wilderness than being with this woman that's contemptuous. A contemptuous person is a person that likes to argue all the time, always nagging, always fussing. Oh, wow. That's why some men don't like to go home. You wonder why some women wonder, why my husband, why is he's not coming home like he used to. How are you talking to the man? If you're nagging at him too much, that's maybe the one reason he's not coming home. Yeah. Maybe one reason why he's making excuses. Say, I got to work late. Mm-hmm. The only time he comes home is when you sleep. Yeah. And when you wake up, he's out the door again. It's better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contemptuous and an angry woman. Now, 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter, the 10th, through the 11th verse. Now, separation don't mean, just because you separate, that don't mean that's not grounds for divorce. Now, I'm not saying a person should get divorced, but if you're in a situation where you in an abusive marriage, you need to separate from this person that's putting your life in jeopardy until they can get some help. I'm not saying where you divorce them and remarry someone else, because abuse is not grounds for divorce and remarriage. 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, and the 10th verse says, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Wife, don't leave your husband. The 11th verse says, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried. Now, if you're in a situation where you have to leave, remain unmarried. Just remain single. Don't talk about, well, I done left this man because he was abusive. Now I done divorced him. Now I'm gonna remarry somebody else because my husband was abusive. Jesus didn't give no grounds for divorce and remarriage. Yeah. He didn't say He didn't say if your husband beat you, you can divorce and remarry. Jesus didn't say that. He says, whosoever shall put away his wife, except for the cause of fornication, and marry someone else, commits adultery. He didn't say except for the cause of abuse. Now, from what Solomon has mentioned, abuse is grounds for separation, but it's not grounds for divorce and remarriage. Yeah. So, let not the wife depart from her husband, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, And let not the man put away his wife. The abuse is not grounds for a man to divorce and remarry. Just because the man has a violent wife and his wife is abusive, that's not grounds to say, well, I'm going to divorce her and marry somebody else because she's evil. That's not grounds. Jesus said, except it be for fornication, not abuse. So, in other words, if the abusive partner does not receive any help for overcoming their abusive tendencies, then you should remain single until they die. Mm-hmm. And then after they die, then you're free to get married to someone else again. Yeah. Because the Bible says that the woman is bound by the law to her husband as long as her husband liveth. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another, she shall be called an adulteress. Yeah. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law. Mm-hmm. So that she shall not be an adulteress if she marries someone else.